You may think that eating healthy usually means that you have to give up all your favorite foods, rich foods such as fettuccine Alfredo, which is usually loaded with fatty ingredients. But here to show us how to make a healthier version of this classic Italian dish is personal chef Bill Collins from chefbill.com. A healthier fettuccine Alfredo, that is music to my ears. I love it.
It really is, because actually a client of mine wanted me to do it, and the client was diabetic, and I thought, well, I don't want to kill my client, so let's come up with something that's a healthier variation, and that's what I did. And especially Mardi Gras time, celebration, that's why I go. Fat Tuesday.
Fat Tuesday,
So
yes.
we want to just make sure we don't emphasize the fat part of Fat Tuesday. But really, I deconstructed the Alfredo. I didn't deconstruct the fettuccine. So what I do is I start with a hot skillet, and I put in some olive oil. Don't need too much. That's going to be about a little over a tablespoon.
Okay.
And you can see the pot's already hot because you see the way the oil's moving around.
That's the trick.
And then I crush some garlic. And so here I've got the garlic, and notice there's quite a bit of garlic in there because that's going to be really a lot of the foundation of the flavor.
How many cloves is that about?
About 6 or 7 cloves. You don't have to be exact. And the reason I like to crush it is so you don't get complete mouthfuls of garlic, because it also does cook rather quickly. And you just kind of move it around the pan a little bit. It also gets nice and fragrant, as you can hopefully tell.
Oh. Smells amazing.
And so really, you don't need it in that long, and you can tell it's starting to get brown, starting to stick a little bit. And then the next thing to go in is the evaporated milk. Evaporated skim milk is a little darker in color. Not that it's skim, but the evaporated milk is. And you can hear a big sizzle in a moment. Or not, and but it is hot. What's going to happen with evaporated milk as the heat really starts to get to it is it starts to thicken up a little bit. And so you see as it's going, it's just kind of stirring around, not quite thickening yet, but it will in a moment.
Right.
And then the next thing to go in is going to be the ricotta cheese. Now, I'm not a big fan of non-fat cheeses. Ricotta is one of the only cheeses, I think, that's kind of edible, in that sometimes you get that aftertaste that just makes you say chemical Monsanto, and it doesn't really taste like cheese.
Right.
And so this way, but the ricotta does, and so ricotta does have doesn't have that aftertaste. So here's the great thing about it is it's got such body that's going to give you a lot of thickening, because when you make a traditional Alfredo sauce, you've got a lot of cream, a lot of butter, and things you're trying to avoid. Especially in theory, bathing suit season might be approaching. So,
right, so we want to do the healthier version if we can.
If you can.
So you use it's a low-fat or fat-free ricotta cheese? Is that what you use?
In this case, I'm going with the fat-free, just so you can also see. But low-fat's fine. You can even use the full fat, and it's not. It's kind of a healthier variation.
It's not as bad as the heavy cream.
Exactly. Now, given the miracle of television, I'm going to put this in now instead of waiting for that to thicken up completely.
Right, because of course, you know.
It is.
Trying to make fettuccine Alfredo in 4 minutes isn't necessarily realistic, right?
Exactly. We don't want to bump the news today.
No.
So just kind of whisk it around, and that's just really, you can use a spoon, but the whisk just kind of breaks it up quite well.
Yes.
And then it's going to spend another couple minutes thickening, and then just going to pop in the Parmesan cheese. So already you can see it's thicker than it was.
Yes, absolutely. And so you want to do this, maybe take a little bit more time and wait till the evaporated milk thickens and then add the ricotta cheese. Use that whisk. It's all about the right tools, right?
It is. And actually the thing about doing a sauce like this is we're not talking hours or even 10 minutes. This whole thing really takes just a few minutes to do. And as you can see already, it's not even all the way heated through, that's already got some thickness and body to it.
Yes.
And you can see it's not going to be a completely smooth sauce, because we've got all that garlic, crushed garlic in there.
Right.
So I'm just going to give it a couple more minutes.
Okay.
And at any time, and we're going to do it now, you can throw the Parmesan cheese in.
Yes, and you want fresh, nothing from the green can.
The green shaky can is not allowed after you've done all this great cooking already.
Right.
And so at this point, the next things you really want to do, once the sauce is ready, is check for salt and pepper. Especially with a sauce that's got Parmesan cheese in it, I don't like to salt it first, because Parmesans have varying level of salt. So this way, once you've got all the ingredients in, then you can say, okay, we're going to check the flavor of it. And that's the best way to do it. And you can see it's already thickening. I don't know if you want to give it a little stir. And you can feel there's a little...
Yes, little resistance there.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is thickening. So we're going to check that flavor, add the salt and pepper. We're going to finish this up when we come back.
Absolutely.
So we'll be back with personal chef Bill Collins in just a bit. Stay tuned. We're back with personal chef Bill Collins from chefbill.com, and we are making a healthier fettuccine Alfredo.
Yes.
I just took a taste of that sauce. Wow, that's good.
Exactly, and it's ready. So, you know, I started just before the commercial break, and
So
you can
quick.
tell, and also you can tell how thick this is, and that's just the combination of the cheese and the evaporated milk. So I'm not going to give you a calorie count, but it's not that high because this is also the fat-free cheese. So now it's ready to go, and you saw that was really just a few minutes. So
Really
it's also
quick.
a quick thing. Now, some variations you can do with this is saute some shrimp and kind of make it a little bit more elegant if you want, or chicken, or whatever comes to mind. So now we've got cooked pasta. Now I just took this out of the water. One thing, when you take pasta out, if there's a little bit of time, take the sauce that you've got and just add a little bit to it. You don't want to add a whole lot necessarily,
Okay.
because that way, perfect. If you just want to give it a stir around,
The tongs or
the tongs would be great.
Okay.
And that way, of course, it would work with a spoon too. And that way, you keep the pasta from clumping together. And so you've got a little bit of sauce in there. And then when you go to serve it, you can either put a little sauce on top or into the bowl, however you want to do it.
That's a great idea. It keeps it from clumping and getting all stuck.
And it makes for a nicer presentation. And some people like a lot of sauce, some people like a little sauce. So this way, you can get it going, and you can either serve in individual bowls or how you want. So now,
Yeah, there's nothing like grabbing that pasta and it's all stuck in one big clump.
exactly. That just,
What a good idea.
Thank
Chef
you.
secrets.
But you know, we could do a whole thing on that.
Good.
And so what I like to do is, you know, again, just a little bit here, and a little bit more, and do it like that. I'm going to move this right over here.
Okay, yep.
And then just put in a little bit more sauce, but then also a nice little finishing touch. And you can see, again, it's not a very smooth sauce. You've got the garlic bits in there.
Guilt-free Fat Tuesday. I love it.
Exactly. So now you can either grate on a little Parmesan
Yes,
to go over
of
the top.
course. That's lovely.
Or take your peeler and you can put little strips of it on top, and again, it just makes a different presentation.
Chef Bill, that is beautiful. We're out of time, but this is great. And of course, you can cater the pasta, make the pasta any kind you want.
Exactly.
Recipe will be online. I can't wait to try it. Thank you so much. Happy Fat Tuesday.
Thank you.